For this video, we're going to discuss finding the midpoint of 2 points. So like the previous videos, we'll have 3 examples so we can get really comfortable with this process. Problem 1, find the midpoint between these 2 points, -2, 3, and -7, -7. What we want to remember for finding the midpoint is that there's 2 main steps. Step number 1, we add. Step number 2, divide by 2. So the math here is really easy. We're just addition and division. We just need to remember what we're adding and what we're dividing by 2. Now, this is really similar to distance in that we're going to start off by connecting our first 2 numbers, -2 and -7, and connecting the second set of numbers, 3 and -7. And these are the numbers that are going to follow those steps. So let's start with our first set, the -2 and the -7. Let's add those together. -2 plus -7 is going to give us -9. That was step 1. Now that we have -9, we're going to take that and divide by 2 to get -4.5. And that's it for that set. Now we can do the exact same thing with our second set of numbers. 3 plus -7 is going to be equal to -4. Now we have -4 divided by 2 to give us -2. And that is basically it. So the midpoint is parentheses -4.5, comma, -2, parentheses. When we list our final answer, we want to make sure we're leaving it in the correct format. So make sure you have those parentheses around our numbers. As we do our next 2 examples, go ahead and pause the video after the question and see if you can figure it out on your own before pressing play and seeing if you're right. Now, problem number 2. I'm going to keep up those 2 steps so we can remember those. Now we're going to find the midpoint between 8, 5 and -1, 3. Start off by making our connections. 8 and -1 are going to connect. 5 and 3 will connect. So for the red, 8 plus -1 equals 7. Pull this down a little bit. 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. Now on to the blues. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So on to our final answer. The midpoint is 3.5, comma 4. I'll go ahead and box that to make it known that that is our final answer. Okay, let's move on to the last problem. And I'm going to clear those steps, so try to remember them. Okay, this one's tricky in that it has decimals, but we follow the exact same steps. Let's connect our first two numbers and connect our second two numbers. Let's add them up. Negative 2.9 plus 10.8, which is going to equal negative 7.9. Divide that by 2 to give us 3.95. Now for the blue. Negative 1.4 plus negative 1.7 is going to equal negative 3.1. Divide by 2 to get negative 1.55. Making the distance, sorry, not the distance, making the midpoint 3.95, negative 1.55. Hopefully you understand midpoint a little bit better.